third genre of literature is poetry. What is poetry? Poetry is the expression of the human mind in an emotional and rhythmical language. It is an art which treats words with care, respect, and accuracy. Poetry can be defined as the best words in the best order, or it's a spontaneous overflow of powerful feeling. Matthew Arnold, an English poet, refers to it as a criticism for life. Now, types of poetry. Number 1. Sonnet. A sonnet is a poem of 14 lines. Number 2. Ode. An ode is a poem addressed to a person or thing, or written for some special occasion. 3. Lyrics. Lyric poetry is a formal type of poetry which expresses personal emotions or feelings of the poet. 4. Elegy. Elegy is a poem of mourning written on the death of a person. It expresses the poet's meditation upon the death of somebody. Number 5. Ballad. Ballad is a short poem in the form of a song that tells a story. The ballad is originally meant to be sung, and its length does not exceed 100 lines. 6. Panegyric. Panegyric is a poem of excessive praise. It is closely related to the eulogy and ode. 7. Epic. An epic poem is a long narrative poem which is usually related to heroic deeds of a person of an unusual courage and unparalleled bravery. 8. Blank verse. A blank verse is a poem with no rhyme but does have iambic pentameter. This means it consists of lines of 5 feet, each foot being iambic, meaning 2 syllables long, one unstressed, followed by a stressed syllable. Some poetic devices. Some poetic devices include structure in poetry. Now, by structure in poetry, we mean the way the poem is presented to the reader. This could include technical things such as the line, length, and stanza format, flow of words, or idea conveyed. Imagery. Imagery is the name given to the elements in a poem that spark off the senses such as sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. Any of these senses can respond to what a poet writes. Sound devices. Sound devices are literary elements used in prose and poetry to stress certain sounds and create musical effects. Examples include alliteration, consonance, and assonance. Rhythm. Rhythm is a literary device that demonstrates the long and short pattern through stressed and unstressed syllables, particularly in verse form. Repetition. Repetition is a literary device that repeats the same words or phrases a few times to make an idea clearer and more memorable. Pun. Pun is a joke exploiting the different possible meanings of a word or the fact that there are words which sound alike but have different meaning. Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia, here the sound of words suggests their meaning. Example: the class booed at a naughty boy. Diction. Diction refers to the author's choice of words and the order of the words within a poem. Thematic preoccupation. By thematic preoccupation, we mean the major theme in a literary work and how it affects the people involved. Socio-political relevance. This is a way in which products and services can be relevant through social networking medias. It also has to do with how the poem under consideration involves both social and political factors. Style. Style in literature is the literary element that describes the ways that the author uses words. The author's word choice, sentence structure, figurative language, and sentence arrangement all work together to establish mood, images, and meaning in the text. So let's have a recap. Recall, we talked about poetry and we defined it as the expression of the human mind in an emotional and rhythmical language. And then we'll look at the different types of poetry we'll have. We talked about sonnets. Can you recall what sonnet is? A sonnet is a poem of 14 lines. We talked about ode. An ode is a poem addressed to a person or thing or written for some special occasion. Then we talked about elegy. Elegy is a poem of mourning written on the death of a person. Then we talked about ballad. The ballad is a short poem in the form of a song that tells a story. Then we talked about panegyric. The panegyric is a poem of excessive praise. And then epic. Epic poem is a long narrative poem that is usually related to heroic deeds of a person of an unusual courage. Then we'll talk about a blank verse. A blank verse is a poem with no rhyme but does have words. It's called iambic pentameter.